From funny to frightening, social media trends, they travel fast. So if you've heard your kids saying 6, 7, they probably learned that online.
Absolutely. A new study finds just how far some kids are going and also the tragic consequences that follow. New at 5, Sarah Bloom speaks with experts for this week's RVA Parenting.
I think you just summed up the hard part about this. Sometimes these trends are harmless and even hilarious. Sometimes they bring us together, but other times they're emergencies with undeniable consequences. Kids have done a lot of dumb, dangerous, and even deadly things after seeing something online. A new study from the Omega Law Group shows us new insight into how damaging some of these trends have been. One child ended up in the ER after microwaving a toy and getting burned. Kids have died from blackout challenges. Kids have landed in the ICU after Benadryl challenges. Add fire challenges, milk crate challenges, the list goes on and on.
You're looking at Benadryl, for example, taking an absorbent amount of Benadryl to see what happens. Maybe you're jumping off of crates or, flipping over moving cars as they're driving by. And while it looks cool and kids think it's cool, what it's doing is it's enticing them to do things that have deadly consequences. We see an uptick in young people trying these challenges, really for kind of like street creds.
And while kids may be looking for virtual or even social likes, there's nothing to like about the numbers this study collected. Kids as young as 10 admitting to trying the blackout Benadryl or Tide Pod challenge, resulting in more than 100 deaths and tens of thousands of ER visits. The result? Brain damage, organ failure, seizures. And in several cases, insurance was denied because the act was deemed avoidable.
Some that are breaking bones or just having a lot of internal issues from the drugs and, you heard the cinnamon challenge, right? They were taking cinnamon and choking, can't breathe, aspirating, things like that. And insurance companies are not going to pay for the medical bill. So you see an uptick in medical costs for parents upwards of $80,000 to $100,000 as a result of something that a child tried online.
Marcy Thornhill is a social media safety consultant and says parents have to know what they're up against and that we all have a role in holding social media companies responsible too. But most importantly, talk to your kids.
I had one young lady, I think she did the Gorilla Glue with her hair and they couldn't get it out. She ended up having to have surgery because it glued her hair to her scalp. Doctors couldn't do anything. Using acetone, stuff like that. Parents need to share consequences. There's no longer a need to shield our children from the harsh reality they see every day. Parents, I want to protect them from what? Protect them from themselves by educating them. Because if you don't, social media will.
Marcy says you have to have those talks, but you can also use these platforms for good. Encourage your kids to join in on the good and healthy challenges instead. On your side for RVA Parenting, I'm Sarah Bloom.